After that song, I don't think I want to follow up with a joke, so I'm just going to go.
Oh, we love your jokes, Keith.
Oh no, you wouldn't want to do this. So we have a visiting Rotarian, Lori Gatlin from the Eaton Club. Lori. She was a member of Miamisburg, but then she kind of just blew the coop for a little bit. So then Judy, you have a guest. Where did Judy go? Oh, she is here.
Hensley, say hi to everybody.
We have two.
And she sang with us.
She did. She did sing. We have two prospective members. Jill Stoutenborough, sponsored by Ted Fink. And then Chris Fine, sponsored by Michelle Collins. The live stream is always out.
Very good. Very good. And next week is the installation of officers, and so those two prospective members had their star meeting last night, and they'll be accepted in as members next week, along with the new slate of officers. So that's what we'll be doing next week. Do we have any announcements? Any announcements?
I have an announcement. There'll be a car show this Saturday downtown from 4 to 8 on Main Street.
Okay.
What day?
Saturday.
So, and also for those old school people that like things in writing that don't go to the website, we got this. Thank you, Ryan. All the Parks and Recs magazine, all the events. It's really nice to have. Send it somewhere at the house so you don't forget. On the back, it's got all the listed dates and things going on. So, thank you, Ryan. You and your staff for putting that together for the city of Miamisburg. Bill.
Yes, last week I had mentioned that we had the 3 different charities that we have supported with district grants, and that we need to do a in-person arrangement with them. And again, I do apologize, it's kind of last minute, but we look like we're going to have an opportunity to work with the Helping Hands Food Pantry, which will be next Monday evening from 7:45 to 8 o'clock. So I'm sorry, 5:45 to 8 p.m. Okay, I gotta read my own note. So I'm gonna assign a list of pass it around. I need to confirm this with the organization, but that's as far as I know. We should be able to help. So I would appreciate anybody who can sign up and help. Thank you.
In case you haven't noticed, this is America 250. The History Center is hosting a professor from the University of Wright State University to talk about the Declaration of Independence. It should be a good talk. It's Thursday, tomorrow, at 7 o'clock at the History Center. Hope some of you can make it.
Got an announcement? Okay.
Welcome all of you guys, and I'm so excited to see what I'm going to do.
Happy dollars.
Everybody happy dollars today.
Yeah, I've got a $50 for those people who showed up at Threads on Monday to help with our volunteer at that organization. So that was Justin was there, Niels Winter was there, and I was there. So thank you for the other two.
All right, I've got 10 happy dollars. We had a very successful trip to Antigua, completely relaxing. The schedule was pretty much eat breakfast, go in the ocean for a while, take a nap, do some reading for a while, go back in the ocean, take a nap, clean up for dinner, read for a while. It was great. Another one, I went down Sunday to the first time I've ever been to the new stadium in Cincinnati. Found out it's 20 years old. Okay, whatever. The new stadium was and we watched the Savannah Banana baseball game.
Oh, I remember.
Ever get an opportunity to do it? The tickets are tough to get. You have to go into the lottery. We were able to get them. They're horrible seats, but it's a wonderful game, very entertaining. And then one sad dollar, I found out that my best friend passed away yesterday. Paul Figgins was in the over and worked.
Doc, you have real money in that?
Let's see, I'll give it to you as I'm done here. Let's see, that's, wow. We got $10 happy. My grandkids, we've gotten them one of those kits with the butterflies. And today, the butterflies were released. I have video of it, it's so cute. So $10 happy for that. And I have a scooter dollar because they got to go back to the office for a 1 o'clock appointment. So there you go. Oh, my goodness.
We have two happy dollars. We have two very ugly, very stupid walls at the History Center that are now gone. That hurts a Brian. $1 for each of them. That's no longer there.
Yeah, I'm just happy that we had a successful STAR meeting last night. All three of our prospective, about to be members next week were there, and it was a good time.
I am one of the more happy dollar because I go on vacation next week. I'm going to go on all in Canada and out in the woods, completely desolate. But thanks to modern technology, we do have Starlink. So I hope to be present on the YouTube when we do the swearing. So I'm going to find myself $1 for not being here in person to do the swearing. So $2.
And I also have a happy dollar. I got to attend the dinner at the Legion Monday night for Buckeye Boys Girls State. Jane invited me as a member of Rotary and City Council, so I was happy to be there. And Jane put on a good program.
Anybody else? Happy dollars, happy dollars. Our speaker, Jeff Kennedy.
Thank you all for allowing me to come in and sit with you. What a great group you are.
All right.
I will do top dog.
Yep, top dog. Today's share of winnings is $194. $194, and we're looking at the 9 of diamonds.
And let's see, Eric Fleischer can draw us. I didn't
As long as
last three numbers, please.
All right, 566. 566.
566. 566.
We have a winner right here.
Oh. We have the ID, her. Is there an age?
Put the card in there, Jeff.
Let you be fun.
Put the card in there, Jeff.
Look for 9 of diamonds.
Pull out the card then.
Well, close, it was the 5 of diamonds.
Oh.
Oh, keep the cards.
Oh, wow. All right. Very good. I think it was a couple months ago, I was able to go to the Springboro Rotary meeting. And they meet on Fridays at 7:30 at the fire hall. And one of the speakers was Jeff Kennedy. And you call yourself what kind of coach do you?
Executive coach?
Executive coach. And so there's different names for life coach.
Call me whatever you want to call me.
You know, and so what was interesting, in part of my past life, I did the same. I was more with individual people and more so life type of situation. So when he was speaking, and I thought what he had when he talked about how it relates to business, how it relates to our everyday life. But then, you know what, we need to get Jeff here to speak to us, and so this will be good information for us, but also something to think about. So hopefully it challenge you in how you view work life and family life. So Jeff Kennedy.
Oh, is it on? Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. Before I begin, I want to ask you a question. And don't answer out loud. Just keep it silent. How many of you have ever said yes to something really good only to realize that it cost you more than you expected? Just think on it. I hear laughter already, so I'm thinking there's something. So hold on to that. Put a pin in it because we'll come back to it. You can sleep when you're dead. Now get back to work. That sentence ran my life for nearly 25 years. I didn't know it was a belief. I thought it was how responsible people lived. I thought rest was something you earned after the work was done, after everybody was taken care of, after your inbox was empty, after the pressure let up, but the pressure never let up. So I worked. I pushed. My father believed hard work fixed everything. He worked 12 hours a day for 40 years. And if you were tired, you pushed. If you were overwhelmed, you pushed more. If life got heavy, you worked. I respected that. I still do. There's honor in hard work. There's dignity in showing up. And there's something good about being the kind of person people can count on. And for a while, it worked. I built my life on the my career and my life on the rule that I inherited, which was push. And for a long time, it worked. Early mornings, late nights, packed calendars, more yeses, more meetings, one more call. I became reliable, useful, and I liked that. I liked being needed. And maybe some of you know what that feels like. When people rely on us, it feels like purpose. It feels like leadership. It feels like proof that you matter. Typical day in my house. Phones buzzing, LinkedIn notifications, Facebook notifications, urgent emails. Something feels like it needs a reply. Something feels like it needs a decision. Something feels like it can't wait. My daughter stands next to me. She's got a drawing. She says, "Dad, look." I say, "Not now." I don't even look. Not harshly, not anger. Almost automatic. Not now. Because I believed the email couldn't wait, but she could. Work is urgent. Love is patient. And that's what burnout steals first. Not your energy, your presence. It's 2016. I'm sitting in a cold doctor's office. Sitting on the exam table, waiting for the physician to walk in. Sitting on that paper that crinkles every time you move. It's annoying. And the doctor comes in. He looks at my labs. He looks at me and he says, "I don't know how you're still walking around." I felt irritated, not scared, irritated, because now my body had become one more thing I had to manage. So I said, "I'm fine, I'm just tired." And he looked at me and said, "No, you're not fine." He looked back up at me and he said, "You have adrenal insufficiency." I looked at him. I stared. I blinked. I'm like, what does that even mean? He said, "Your body has been running on stress for so long, it forgot how to recover." That sentence should have stopped me, but it didn't. I had work to do. So what did I do? I did what anybody else would do. I drank more energy drinks. I went back to work. More pushing, more yeses, more "I'm fine," because that's what strong people do. We keep going, we keep answering, we keep producing, and we keep showing up for everyone else, even when there's nothing else left inside. And burnout doesn't begin when your energy runs out. It begins when you stop noticing the cost. And I stopped listening to the cost. And then it happened. On my way to see a customer, I pulled into a rest stop and I said, "I just need 5 minutes. Not to rest, not to recover, just enough to keep going." So I leaned the seat back, I closed my eyes, and when I opened them, the sun had moved. I didn't remember pulling in there. I didn't remember falling asleep. I didn't give my body permission to rest. My body made that decision for me. Burnout. Tired, not stressed, not busy, burnout. And that's when I stopped arguing with the word. And the hardest thing wasn't admitting that I was exhausted. The hardest thing was admitting that that what I was calling strength was hurting me, hurting my body, hurting my presence, and hurting the people I loved. So I thought I was strong. I thought exhaustion meant commitment. I thought depletion meant dedication. And I thought being needed and being needed and wanted mattered. But somewhere along the line, I had to ask myself a question. When did exhaustion become my identity? And maybe your version isn't a rest stop. Maybe it's a midnight email. Maybe it's you're on vacation, but you're not really there. "I'm tired. I'm fine. I'm just tired." The most dangerous sentence a high performer can say. Burnout is not being tired. Tired gets better with sleep. Burnout's different. Burnout's waking up tired after sleeping. Burnout's sitting on a couch with nothing left, even though the day wasn't hard. And burnout is snapping at the ones you love and asking yourself where that came from. It's losing access to the best version of yourself that you always counted on. The real problem wasn't my calendar, wasn't my inbox, wasn't meetings. It was my belief that if I slow down, everything falls apart. And that belief nearly took me down. Remember the question I asked you in the beginning. Maybe the question is, whatever your thing was, is it yours to hold? It's just a question. It wasn't my workload, it wasn't my ambition, it was not my responsibility, it was simply my belief. Because eventually your body will tell you the truth about what your calendar helped you hide. So I made one change. I didn't make it overnight, and I didn't suddenly become great at setting boundaries. Lord knows I didn't have the boundaries, but I did one stop and one start. I stopped checking emails before bed, and I started guarding my sleep like I guarded my 401k. The change was small, the decision was not. It wasn't about an email, it was about proving that I could stop doing this. I stopped treating recovery like it was something to be earned. Recovery isn't a reward for finishing. Recovery makes work sustainable. For years, I believed I could sleep when I was dead, but here's what I've learned. You can stay productive and still disappear. You can keep succeeding and lose yourself. You can answer every urgent thing and still miss the most important thing and person in front of you. Work will continue, emails will continue, meetings will continue, but your presence disappears. And leadership without presence isn't strength, it's survival. So here's the choice. We are limited. Time is really the option that we have. You can make the decision. Eventually, everybody in this room will reset. Our bodies will reset. We'll reset at some time. The question is, will your body force the conversation? When will people that you love get tired of waiting? When will success stop being success? You can reset by choice. But don't walk out today and say, I'm going to fix every single thing. Don't do that. Please, please, please don't do that. Pick one stop and one start. Pick one thing to stop proving your worth. Pick one thing to start protecting your capacity. Because the question isn't whether you'll reset, it's whether you'll reset by choice or by collapse. Thank you. I did that in a hurry because I was trying to give you some time back. Questions? Questions, comments?
Well, the thing is, I can share an example. I was working most of my adult life. I've been retail management, and I was in retail during COVID, and so you know what COVID looked like, and working through that, and it was we'll say somewhat stressful. And then I got transferred to a store here in Cincinnati that didn't make it through COVID. It was a mess. Inventory was a mess. That normally any given day we had 10 or 15 orders left over by the end of the day. They had 500 orders continue every day that they didn't do, selling product that had already been sold. And so they asked me to take over the store. I was there about a year and a half, still going through the COVID restrictions and stuff. And like Jeff said, probably through this process, I was their go-to guy. That's why they sent me to Cincinnati. So again, I thought that was success. You know, working long hours, working during COVID. I worked 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. 7 days a week during COVID. And so, but again, that's what was required of us to get it done because they didn't know what COVID was, but they could rely on the managers to do it. But by the time I got to Cincinnati, year and a half of that, I hit the wall. And so the only choice, I paused and had strategic rest, but the only choice I had when it was all done is I had to quit. I couldn't go back to it because the demands were still there. I probably could have done some things along the way to make it easier, but I ended up having to make the choice to quit that job. And so I've hit the wall. So I know what Jeff is talking about, but it's one of those things that maybe there's some things I could have done earlier to work out of that. But I'll speak for men, guys. Our identity is in our work. Majority of us. We get our identity from what we do, the interactions we have, the kudos we get. We thrive for that. And so, like Jeff said, that acceptance, that was, I mean, if you go to work and you're accepted for doing a great job, why not put in a few more hours? That sounds good. How you doing? A great job, great job. I mean, I was a manager that my bosses very rarely came to visit my store because numbers showed that things were great. They were too busy going to other stores that were in trouble. So that felt good. But again, that only lasted so long till I got to the point of kind of burning out.
But again, looking back, taking those strategic rest times, um, someone has once told me that sometimes we have to say no to make room for the true yeses, right? So if we say, hey, this is a great opportunity, let's say no, because one day, like Jeff said, his daughter's standing in front of him with a picture. That's the yes, and sometimes we forget about that. So I think some of the buzzwords in business world now is life or work-life balance. Yeah, work-life balance. And that's not just a catchphrase. That's something for those that are still working, that's very, very, very important. Or if you're a supervisor, make sure you're allowing your employees to have that balance. I would also say for us that are retired, same thing, to have that balance, the demands of children, grandchildren, vacations, things you want to still do. Are you balancing for those? I mean, I'm in a boat. Sometimes you go on vacation, you need a vacation from your vacation when you get back because all you did was run here, do this, do that. It was fun because you're with people that you care about. But again, it's like, man, I just need to sit and relax. And so again, even as we are retired, it's good that we continue to maintain that balance. So don't be a statistic. But again, that's my. I was say 2 cents worth, but that's my 4 cents worth.
And that's a good point, because if
on my wall is something from my grandfather, work as though your life depended on it. It
I
does.
clearly understood that.
But within that, there is some good I found when things, and I don't work more than I should. I've never have had to. I have offered to a couple of times. But within that, when one of the lines in there is that when you feel like you can't do anything, do something. Go out and garden. Dig up some weeds. Just if you're so far in yourself, just go out and do something. And that is very beneficial to me. That I'll just go out and my wife will like, "You're weeding again?" It's like, I need to weed.
Well, that's blowing off steam, as you and I may say, but if recovery depends on me going full speed, then rest is always going to feel optional or irresponsible for that matter. And I'm watching my son-in-law go through it right now. So he's the number 2 guy at Amazon up in the fulfillment center at Monroe. So he manages, I don't know, 300 people, and this is day 2 of Prime. Yesterday he worked 17 hours. I can't say a word. I did it to myself, but they didn't ask me for my opinion. But it's very, as a parent, a father to my daughter who's married to him, really hard to watch. She's managing a household, her job, and 3-year-old identical twin girls, and one on the way in 5 weeks. And she's a wreck. And it's really hard to watch. So, questions, go.
Sorry, not a question, but I just want to comment. I've been out of work a little bit since November, and up until that point in my life, I have really just worked myself. My identity was my job.
Mm-hmm.
But what you said something that rang true. When people rely on you, it feels like purpose. It feels like you matter. And I've been having this hole since November of like something's wrong. I can't seem to figure it out because I no longer have employees and there's no one underneath me. No one needs me in that way. I think what you said there kind of filled in that gap in my head a little bit. So thank you for sharing that.
Good. I'm glad it helped, because when you share this and you speak, you hope something lands and something that people walk away with it. And I didn't know any better. I ran full speed until the doctor said, you almost have no more adrenal glands. And that's when I said, okay, you got my attention. There's a problem. Questions, comments?
I had a kind of a similar situation where my body told me, hey, lady, you're not doing this right.
Mm-hmm.
I was fairly young, too young to be sick or worry about health, so I didn't. But we were young. I had a a 2-year-old and a baby, and I was working and taking care of the house. My husband wasn't working, and so we were living on what I was making. And my body was going berserk. I was breaking out all over the place, and all I could move on my hands were my thumbs. So I went to the doctor, and they'd been treating me for some things for quite a few years, but all they were doing was treating the symptoms and not looking at what the cause was. So I went to a different doctor, checked things out, and I said, "Why is this all of a sudden happening like this?" And he said, "Well, you've probably got some stress in your life." I said, "Oh, I'm not stressed." He said, "Well, tell me what you're doing." He said, "Lady, that's stress." And so it took my body, like you were saying when you went to the doctor. So it can manifest itself in physical things that you just don't want to talk about or don't recognize. I'm okay now.
Yay. I'm glad for you. One of the things that I noticed, it's an underlying theme with all the people that I've coached so far. These are coaches, these are leaders that are leading people. They are completely stressed out of their minds, and they can't sort of think. So one of the first things I get them to do is breathe, and they look at me like, "Did I just pay you to teach me how to breathe?" No. And 1 minute later, they say, "I've never felt like this." Because what happens is there's a stress hormone called cortisol. It's designed to save your life, right? If we're in the middle of something really bad, we run, we stay, or we fight, right? That's what we do. But your body was never meant to manage stress for 20 or 30 years. So what happens is when cortisol spikes and goes into your brain, it blocks the brain's ability to think. So you cannot think, you can only react. It's like if you've had a spirited discussion with somebody and you walk away, and an hour later you go, "That's what I should have said. This, and this." That's your brain coming back online and cortisol coming down. What people don't realize is they live in that state every day, right? They go to work and on their way to work in the morning, they get a quad shot of something at their favorite beverage place, right? They crash in the afternoon, have some more, come home, wine before, during, and after dinner, and then an Advil PM or a PM of choice, and you get up and do it all over again. And there's no way for the brain to reflect as long as cortisol's in there. And that's that feeling when you walk around and you go, "I fall. I can't think through this." Breathing slows your nervous system down. Any other questions, comments? Thank you.
Thank you. Of course. All right. Our door prizes were our compliment of Steve Johnson. Remind us you okay. So let's grab 2 tickets here. So 591, and 608. Steve? 591, 608.
Put it back in the store and sell it.
Do we have 608?
No one had 608?
607. That's what he said. 608. That's bad. Give or take one.
608, white ticket, 608?
Okay.
Which one do you want? Very good, very good. White. Again, remember next week, installation of officers. Anybody have anything else? Any other announcements that we need to do? Anything special we need to know for 250th celebration? It's all publicized, but it looks like almost every city in town have some kind of big celebration. So you choose to do here in Miamisburg. What's the main day? The 4th is everything. We're not celebrating anything in Miamisburg? No, what's his plan? We're gonna give you an opportunity to celebrate in our city. Okay? That's okay. We have other celebrations that we do throughout the year. That's okay. You don't have to compete. You save your best for another time.
We can do family things.
Yes, that's okay. Okay, there you go. You can have fireworks 3 weeks later for the. Okay.
And the History Society will have reenactors and a booth at Americana Festival for the first time ever at Centerville. So come visit us there. We'll be in Bennett Grove.
Yeah, and if you like crowds, I saw a picture of it last year. Oh my goodness. All right. If there's nothing else. We'll go ahead and stand, please. So of the things that we think, say, and do, number 1. Number 2, number 3, number 4, enjoy the